Hello, everybody. Welcome to Irongeek cast number 191. Lateralus. I don't even know how to pronounce that. That's something Frank put in notes. Unfortunately, Frank can't join us tonight, it seems. So I'm not sure how much of his show notes we're going to go over. But the show notes can be found down in the description of the video if you actually want to go see them. So how you doing tonight, Darren?
Oh, same shit, different day. Just again, dealing with life one day at a time. Kind of, watching the news and seeing how that all plays out, because that's kind of a whole fucking mess right now.
Yeah, no, how this goes, you have one side saying the other side stole it for 4 years.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like even if Trump wins and shows that that everything was fraudulent, then they're gonna go, "Oh, he stole it again." So there's not going to be a clear winner here. I should say there's not going to be a solid winner here. Someone's going to be a butthurt loser. No
Here's my prediction: he will find fraud various places, but the amount of votes that will overturn or switch won't be enough to actually overcome Biden's lead.
That's possible. I mean, and if that happens, then great. At least we've proven that fraud wasn't the reason why he won, and it kind of preserves the integrity of our electoral process.
It's still kind of shit though that mainstream media was covering up things like the Biden, Hunter Biden laptops, and Twitter would really post about it. And I see people saying Biden was a decent man, but there's all sorts of allegations against Biden, and it's not real firm yet. I'm not sure he was a decent man, and Kamala Harris definitely doesn't seem like a decent person. I'm not saying Trump is an angel, but to say that some kind of great shakes that we now have Biden Harris, that's not a good thing either.
I have heard that Kamala Harris has done more damage to the black community in California and elsewhere than crack did. Yeah,
Trump has done things legally to actually get First Step Act, which affects everybody, but my understanding disproportionately it's helped more black people because of low petty drug offenses and so forth, getting them out. He's not directly involved in imprisoning anybody directly.
No, whereas Harris was, because she was the DA of California, or the AG, excuse me. So, and yeah, she actually there's a collage floating around, which if it's my computer, I might post it so you can share it around, of all of the black men she has sent to jail. It's a collage of her image. Or of a picture of her of all the black men that she sent to jail, and there's at least 2 known instances where she has actively suppressed evidence until after they were executed, and then let it come out.
Yeah, even a far left guy who constantly attacks me, and whenever he gets a chance, even him, I stumbled across one of his tweets was talking about Kamala is nothing that they want. But I don't know if most people actually follow the news that closely, or if the news they're watching actually reports that.
Yeah, unfortunately, the problem is everyone who wants Biden because he's not Trump TM is going to find out what happens in six months to a year when he is replaced, because various conspiracy theories, which have at least some amount of credibility, and of course, then she steps in and becomes the president, and how that's going to change a whole hell of a lot.
Yeah,
you think Trump is bad for certain rights? Oh boy.
Yeah, Kamala, I mean, after Tulsi blew her out of the water, and I've heard about some of her prosecutor record before that, but after Tulsi blew her out of the water in the debates, I thought that I'd been in. And I guess
she got like 1% of the party vote to become the candidate. That's how bad she was actually wanted. So it's
Tulsi at least got like one electorate from, what was it, America Somali?
I don't know where she was, but I didn't look at the Democrat candidate pick, but I know that again, Kamala Harris got like 1% or less of the actual vote as a nominee. So it was ridiculous. I mean, it was obvious that no one wanted her to be anywhere near there.
It seems like he might have been better off picking a different vice presidential candidate. But so far, it looks like lucky run. But then again, some of the numbers I'm seeing is if they could throw out certain votes in Pennsylvania, and I don't know all the details, but apparently
Michigan too. Pennsylvania and Michigan both, yeah.
Yeah, I know in Pennsylvania, the issue was that there was a court order that people were supposed to be observed they wouldn't let them observe, or they let them observe from 100 feet back, but they couldn't actually see anything.
Yeah, they were at least 50 to 60 feet back, if not more, to the point where they couldn't observe. So they actually could not verify that there was integrity involved.
Yeah, and that's a court order, and apparently they're going to argue that those ballots should be thrown out.
Yes, because they're tainted.
Here's the thing, guys: follow the fucking rules, and you won't have to worry about stuff getting thrown out. And now, what about the? And this is somewhat security related. The tabulating machines. What was it from Dominion?
I think Dominion and a couple others. Yeah, there was the big one used up in Michigan, and like 30 other states had like counting issues. I mean, if you actually look at the numbers, most of them were pretty minor. It was only like 1,000 or 2. It was probably human error kind of stuff. Like someone fucked up in coding, and where they had a bad race condition, or they didn't properly have it exit out, so it defaulted to Biden rather than Trump, or vice versa, or whatever. Because again, we work in IT. I don't know. I don't think you've actually worked for the government, have you?
Kind of, sort of.
Okay. Well, my last job was working for the state of Texas, so yeah, I can tell you right hand that that shit gets. And of course, this shit's done in the last fucking minute. They spec this out 6 months ago and deploy it in that time, and then they don't touch it again for 4 more years, or at least 2 more years, because there's no budget for it. So yeah, there's so much fuckery going on here with that, and of course that's not ever going to get addressed, not unless there's basically a congressional finding.
Well, we'll see if things go the next week, but I think a lot of people are also prematurely celebrating. I'm guessing that it's going to be Biden. I think in the end it's going to be Biden is going to be the one that comes out, but everybody who's automatically celebrating now, and the people who are celebrating it, even if you really hate Trump and think that Biden's better than Trump, I think you should at least be going, okay, that's better, but it's not enough to celebrate,
And I would ask those people, how is it better? If it's just because it's not Trump, okay, well, what values are important to you, and where does Biden stand to those? Because there's lots of instances where gay marriage, Biden's been against it. Drugs, Biden's been against it, and Kamala, holy shit's really been against it. So it's like, they've been a lot of flip flop on a lot of things. They don't really have solid stances. They're kind of fair weather politicians.
All right, T-Maker says, don't forget about the meetings in between about how patching the system and the committees.
Oh yeah, all that's going to get brought up, and if it finds out that's actually a significant portion of the fraud, whether that's actual like malicious intent or just someone rushing the shit through, that might actually get congressional hearings. And if that happens, they may actually mandate this is the system that everyone's going to use. It's going to get tested. It's going to get audited. I mean, that's at least
nothing else. Think about it this way. This litigation and so forth will hopefully ensure that future elections are less questionable. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Because, like I said, if Biden wins, and even if the inconsistencies are corrected and Biden still wins, okay, cool. At least we verified the integrity of our election system. But yeah, I actually heard a really good point earlier. There's the 4 boxes of our form of redress against our government. We already have mainstream media and a lot of tech companies that are pulling the soapbox out. Twitter and Facebook and all that. Banning people, and mainstream media not giving voices and whatnot. So that's the soapbox going. If they fuck with the ballot box, well, that's another box gone through fraud. And if they fuck with the courts and the courts don't want to take it, well, that's the jury box gone. That means the cartridge box is left, and that's not a pleasant implication. That really isn't.
Well, hopefully we'll know more by next week and see see what the hell happens.
I actually heard an interesting point from Tim Pool, I know it's Tim Pool, but apparently
I like Beanie Boy.
Yeah, I mean, he's not bad. He's got some things about him I don't like, but on the whole, he tends to be at least somewhat decent. I had to verify this, obviously, but it sounds like it's correct. Where if a winner is not decided by December 14th, it goes to default, and at that point, Trump would be the winner because he's the incumbent. So
Well, I'm just
if he can sue and block Michigan and Pennsylvania, that means Biden didn't get 270. That means he's not a winner.
But then it goes to some Senate. I didn't quite understand this. It goes to something related to the Senate, and then the Senate votes for it, or some subsection of Senate representatives vote for it. I didn't understand that part.
That might be, but keep in mind the Senate is controlled by the Republicans. So yeah, there's pretty much obvious what's going to be there. I mean,
I don't remember what committee he was called, but regardless, whoever was supposed to go to is majority Republican. So the chances are, I don't remember the exact terminology that was used. Sorry, because this rarely ever happens. So it didn't. I don't even think it came up in a civics class.
Yeah, this is a real outlier case. I mean, obviously it was smart enough. They actually built the laws in mind with events like this happening. So they had a lot of foresight. I have to credit the lawmakers of that one. They had a lot of foresight.
T-Maker says it does go to the Senate.
Yeah. That's one thing I have to credit the founding fathers and other members of the legislature. And some of these laws, they had a lot of foresight. They created a lot of stuff, like with thinking of contingencies and backup plans, and did it actually pretty well.
For the good old days when whoever got the most votes became president, and whoever got the second most votes became vice. Can you imagine Trump as a president and Kamala as his vice?
That would be at that point it would be Biden would be his VP. If Trump
you're correct.
Yeah. Because it's at that point it'd be one person, and that would mean that in 2016 it would have been Trump and who was the Democrat runner? That wasn't Biden. Oh, it was Hillary. Holy shit, Trump and Clinton.
How can you forget that one?
Holy shit. I mean, that'd be kind of funny too if you look back in history, like 2000, that'd be Bush and Gore.
And that one, people keep saying, "Why aren't you advocating? Why aren't you? Why aren't you conceding? Why aren't you conceding?" It took Gore to like the middle of December to concede, correct?
It took a while for them to actually like unfuck everything. Yeah, I was like 14 at the time, so I don't remember a whole lot of it, but yeah, there was a lot of fuckery going on with that one.
Oh yeah, I was quite a bit older than 14, but yeah, it took a while. But this one involves more states, so this is even a little bit more fuck.
Yeah.
T-Maker says it happened once with Jackson and John Quincy Adams. Henry Clay was over the Senate, and Adams made him Secretary of State.
Well, I mean, this is going to show how well I paid attention at civics class, but I don't think back in those days, because Jackson was the 5th president, if I remember right, and I don't think they had the electoral system back then. I think they were still doing popular vote amongst basically what were pseudo nobility, the wealthy land.
Or was it the individual state senates or Congress? The individual state chose their delegates or whatever.
Oh, because back in that day, it was mostly like the wealthy landowners were the ones who voted. That's kind of where that's where we had the House of Representatives versus the Senate dispute come up, because some states had more representatives because of population, whereas small states like Delaware got fucked over that way, whereas New York had a great deal better. And that was like, I think, the Connecticut Compromise, they called it, where that's where you had the everyone had a proportional number of people in the House, and everyone gave 2 senators. So
I'm kind of liking the idea of only net positive taxpayers get the vote.
I mean, there's things, there's merit to that, yeah.
Adelchi, how you doing?
Hey.
Frank's not gonna be on, but he's got a shitload of show notes. So I'm going to go over some of those, but let's see. I don't know if I want to show my screen because I got so much other stuff going on my laptop. I don't necessarily want to screw things up. But if anybody wants to actually see some of these articles, you know what? Let me see if I can just screen share, just an application window, and just the StreamYard. All right. Can y'all see my screen? Can you see?
I see it.
Okay.
Damn. When did you get into that kind of porn?
Oh shit. No. All right, ransomware group turns on Facebook ads. It's bad that many ransomware gangs now have blogs where they publish data stolen from companies that refuse to make an extortion payment. Now, one crime group has started using hacked Facebook accounts to run ads publicly pressuring the ransom victims to pay up. I would think that would get
Wow.
Wow.
That public extortion, holy shit. That's damn.
I would think though that when Facebook, once they realized what was going on, they would quickly put that next to that.
Well, Facebook probably uses an ad network like everyone else, so that takes people reporting it to the ad network provider. So that's one of those delayed things.
And that's assuming that the ad provider gives a damn.
Yeah.
Because if the ad provider is providing ads to ransomware groups, they're probably providing ad space to any group that wants to put malware out there, and they're taking the money and they go, "Oh, we know nothing about these."
Yeah, anyone who bitches about running an ad blocker, looking at you, Troy Hunt, that's why you run an ad blocker, because it's a good layer of security. Because guess what? Viruses and other malware get distributed by ad networks all the fucking time.
Amen. And even the whitelisted ones, they go,
security.
You can whitelist these trusted ads.
Distributed by ad networks all the fucking time.
Amen. And even the whitelisted ones, they go,
You're getting an echo there, Adrian.
Whitelist these trusted ads. Yeah, something's looping pretty hard.
Time.
Amen. And even the whitelisted ones, they go,
You're getting an echo there, Adrian.
Whitelist these trusted ads. Yeah, something's looping pretty hard.
Yeah, I'm turning myself down. See if that helps. Oh shit, that's because it's playing. Hold on. I was pressing the key and all of a sudden the volume turned on when I was
That wasn't me, was it?
No, it wasn't you.
Okay.
It was all me, baby.
The thing is, like, a lot of people even say the ad blockers are like, by the way, here's a whitelist of trusted ad people, and I'm like, no, I don't want that shit either.
Yeah.
We may do a lot of this cast, like people do political research on social networks, only read the title and maybe the first paragraph.
And that's, again, you mentioned whitelisting. There are a lot of ad networks which will, manually verify all the ads.
Oh no, I'm not talking about that. That's complete bullshit. I'm talking about like the ad blockers.
Oh yeah,
we cultivate a whitelist of people, and please let them through.
They follow the acceptable policy. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like no, because they can go off that policy any given time they want to, and you'd never know it.
Or they get hacked and go off it because it's a factor outside their control.
I was under the impression that Facebook was big enough, though, they did its own ads.
They probably do, but that's probably a separate arm of the company that doesn't, that doesn't communicate with them or something like that. I would wager. Because Facebook's so big, they guarantee you they segment that company off.
We'll see. Hudson said a review of his account showed that unauthorized campaigns reached approximately 7,150 Facebook users and generated 770 clicks, with a cost per result of 21 cents. All right. Well, I guess it's a new video doing this stuff. All right, let's see what's next. Wait, this looks like almost the same thing, but from a different place. Ransomware gang hacks. Ransomware gang hacks Facebook account to run extortation ads. I'm looking through this to see if it was the same group. Ragnar Locker takes out Facebook ads. So it looks like the same thing, but a different source.
Yeah, you think this might be their undoing? I mean, it's a pretty bold move to open up an ad saying, hey, ding, ding, we attacked you and beat you up and pay your ransom. That might open a way for somebody somewhere down the line to track back who they are and who the operators are.
Maybe.
I mean, let's play let's say Art Bell, but let's get a little conspiracy theory-ish, okay? Let's say somebody with a lot of money and no time on their hands gets a bug up their ass, and they open up an advertising company for no other reason than to have to be approached by these people to run a ransomware ad, and then fall down on them like a ton of bricks.
All right, next article up from Lifehacker.
Oh, not even a shut up, Donnie. Just okay, next.
What to do about the data leak that hit 8 major hotel sites? An important secured Amazon Web Services (AWS) server left over 10 million hotel reservations logs from numerous cloud hospitality websites openly exposed, potentially putting millions of guests at risk. The server is now secured, and there's no evidence the data is being misused yet, but the information is sensitive enough that anyone who has used one of the following hotel websites since 2015 should be extra vigilant about their data going forward: Agoda, Amadeus, Booking.com, Expedia, Hotels.com, Hotel Beds, Omnibus, and SWE.
Well, that's pretty bad. Amadeus gets hit because they're one of the big aggregators out there. So yeah.
The AWC server held over 10 million logs through website plant security team saying, they said that number of impacted guests would be even higher since some logs include multiple people. These logs contain guest names, email address, personal ID numbers such as passport numbers or driver's license numbers, and phone numbers. Guest payment method and billing information, including all credit card data, card number, CVV, expiration date, etc. Guest reservation details, including the number of nights, prices, and any special requests made as part of their stay. So if someone requested a bunch of KY, you might know that. Okay.
Doesn't the concierge take care of that for you and keep that sort of secret?
I honestly don't know. I don't know if they make notes. I've never used the concierge besides asking a general question like maybe what's good to eat in the area.
That depends on the hotel you go to, I think.
Yeah, it definitely does.
I used to travel a lot, but I've only gone to one con this year, and my new work isn't as much travel, and what little travel it would have been has been nixed by COVID.
Check out, there's an old BBC TV show called Hotel Babylon, which is kind of just a cheesy little, this is what it's like to run a hotel kind of show. But there's an entire episode devoted to the concierge and how they can get you all the things you want and even the things you shouldn't have and stuff like that, and how their whole networks work. It's like a network of people who help each other out.
Like the Continental?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah, but with a little more class.
Actually, they're talking about that. For those who don't know, Continental is this hotel chain of sorts in the John Wick movies, which caters to assassins. They'll talk about making a TV show based on the concept.
It's not an unusual concept. It's a real thing. I mean, even out here in Vegas, it's not as prominent as it used to be. But even out here in Vegas, you used to be able to call the concierge desk and say, I want a 55-gallon drum of KY, 2 hookers, some peanuts, and a TV guide, and it would show up on your doorstep like within 30 minutes.
Okay. By the way, since I'm the one sharing my screen, you all might want to keep an eye on the chat to see if anybody pops up anything interesting. All right. 5.8 million Red Doors user records for sale on Hacking Forum. After suffering a data breach in September, a threat actor is selling a Red Doors database containing 5.8 million user records on a hacker forum. Red Doors is a Singapore-based hotel management and booking platform with over 1,000 properties across East Asia. Using the website or mobile app, users can register an account or to browse available budget hotels and book reservations. Let's see what they actually have as far as data is concerned. All right. For each user record in the database, a Red Doors member email, bcrypt hash password, full name, gender, link to a profile photo, phone numbers, secondary phone numbers, date of birth, and occupations exposed. Doesn't look like payment information as far as I can tell. Any statements on that, or just more hotel breaches?
I mean, hotels are nice, juicy targets. What do you expect?
Is there any word on how they're getting owned?
Not that I immediately saw.
I mean, there's a lot of ways. I mean, keep in mind, hotels deal with a lot of third parties.
Oh yeah,
I used to work in the hospitality industry, so we had connections to a lot of other entertainment sites and whatnot. So it's like the Target breach. Target got breached through a third party. But not just that, but they've also got public-facing websites. They got booking. They've got payment processors. They've got a lot of ways to get the fuck in there. It doesn't find that something in there is a weak link.
There's bound to be weak links. No, I know there's 1,000 different things that they do. It's just it seems to be it's not really esoteric attacks that are doing this. It's low hanging fruit. And if it's low hanging fruit, why aren't they catching it? Or are they just not giving a damn?
That's what happens when you outsource your IT.
Well, it kind of depends on who you outsource it to, but yeah, I'm with you there.
Microsoft Teams users under attack in fake update malware campaign. Microsoft warns that cyber criminals are using Cobalt Strike to infect entire networks beyond the infection point, according to the report. Attackers are using ads to fake Microsoft Teams updates to deploy backdoors, which use Cobalt Strike to infect companies' networks with malware. Microsoft is warning customers about the so-called fake updates campaign in a non-public security advisory. According to a report in Bleeping Computer, the campaign is targeting various types of companies, with recent targets in the K through 12 education sector, where organizations are currently depending on using apps like Teams for video conferencing due to COVID-19. Okay, what level of, I mean, I shouldn't be able to install an update if I'm not running as an administrator, or what? I haven't read through the entire article, so what exactly are they doing? So I imagine a lot of this might be people working from home and so forth.
I mean, yeah, people working from home, and a lot of businesses are not properly adapting to that, so they're not properly securing their worker endpoints, or they're allowing BYOD, which is a horrible idea, and other things like that. So you pop one of them. Better you pop one of them who's pop someone who's got SA or DA, and all of a sudden, bam, you've got a nice fat pipeline into something critical.
Okay. How to get root on Ubuntu's 20.04 by pretending nobody's /home. Okay. All right. This looks like it's going to get a little bit more in depth. Okay. This isn't this quick news. All right. Apparently, here's the steps. Here's a description of the exploitation steps as shown in the demo video. First, open a terminal and create a symlink to your home directory. If that doesn't work because of a file name PAM environment already exists, then just temporarily name the old file and you can store it later. Okay. I don't know if I want to read for all these individual hacking steps on a freaking stream, but apparently here's something that Frank found interesting. Let me see.
So wait, it's the way to get access to get root on a Ubuntu 20 system.
Apparently,
using just basic file system commands. Nice.
Okay.
I mean, still patch it fast, at least.
Is Ubuntu usually pretty good about that?
Yeah, I mean they're pretty fast at pushing shit out, pushing security updates. So I don't see why they wouldn't. I mean, there was a bug I saw like a year ago where they were releasing a kernel or a kernel header that was causing systems not to boot, and they had to fix out in like 14 hours. So.
All right. NPM package caught stealing sensitive Discord and browser files. Okay, all these fucking pop-ups. Malicious code was found hidden inside of a JavaScript library named discord.dll. Security researchers at Cyanotype have discovered today a npm package JavaScript library that contains malicious code designed to steal sensitive files from a user's browser and Discord application. Named Discord DLL, the malicious JavaScript library is still available via npm, a web portal, command line utility, and package manager for JavaScript programmers.
I mean, it doesn't surprise me. Discord's more and more popular, so it's going to get more and more targeted. Especially now because, people are putting financial data into it, so people are paying for shit on it too.
All right, here's someone popping in. Let me see. Oh, I have to add Delici back.
Pardon. My Bluetooth died on me.
Silly Bluetooth. All right, let me find out where I'm at. The Ledger. Anatomy. Crap. My damn speaker impediment. Anatomy of a phishing attack. Frank is so much smoother on this. All right. I'm not sure this is going to be something interesting to read off. This basically sounds like the details of how to do phishing.
Step 1, be stupid. Step 2, fall for it. Step 3, profit.
Man, back when we used to do phishing campaigns when I was doing pen testing, we get people to click on things that I just don't understand why they would click on them. A lot of times we had success with saying that our HIPAA policy has changed. Please go in here and verify so that you can continue your coverage. And that got a lot of people. Not everybody would actually execute whatever we were trying to give them, but we could generally get a good portion of people to at least enter the credentials and a whole lot more people to just even click the link.
Let's see, this is why I hate FishMe, because their application is pants on head retarded. I mean, most of their campaigns are so obviously, bait. It's low quality bait that back when they actually had email addresses that you could respond to, I would respond with the low quality bait meme because it was so garbage. But I mean, now it's like, okay, you're sending it out, and there's only one that's actually ever gotten me, or even close to got me, because it was something that it just sounded a little close to real. But you can defeat their shit with an Outlook rule. It's like not even good. If I can use an Outlook rule to look for a header and filter it away, you fucking failed at your job. Your shit should be able to defeat fucking email filters.
But how many people look at the headers, though? I mean, of the available targets.
Well, that's the thing. You only have to look at it once, and at that point, you set up an Outlook rule or some other email client rule to filter it off to, trash or whatever, and then you're done.
Do you have a recommendation for a canned phishing service?
I mean, I haven't done too much of that stuff myself. I just know, I have a good idea of what's bad. I've heard. I know. Israel's recommended a couple that's worked for him. You might want to ask him.
Okay, because I've had to roll my own in the past, and there was a lot of steps as far as DNS records and various things you had to do to get past some people's spam filters. That they wouldn't instantly get thrown out. It was kind of a pain in the ass.
Yeah, because you have to do reverse records, and you have to have SPF, and have to have your DKIM and all that shit marked up, because a lot of email systems are very paranoid about that now.
All right, from the Hacker News, over 2,800 e-shops running outdated Magneto software hit by credit card hackers. A wave of cyber attacks against retailers running the Magneto 1.x e-commerce platform earlier this September have been attributed to a single group, according to the latest research. The group has carried out a large number of diverse mage cart attacks and often compromised large numbers of websites at once through supply chain attacks, such as the Avalon incident, or through the use of exploits such as the September Magneto 1 compromises, Risk IQ said in an analysis published today. So I'm scrolling down to see what all information they got. Card bleed, which was first documented by Sansec, works by using a specific domain to interact with the Magneto admin panel and subsequently leverage the Magneto Connect feature to download and install a piece of malware called mysql.php that gets automatically deleted after the schema code is added to prototype JS. So basically install some stuff that when people put their credit cards in, they go ahead and receive them. I'm not sure.
That sounds like a definition of a skimmer.
I mean, yeah, that's the only way you can really skim it is when it gets submitted on the back end. Because if you're doing everything properly, you're only using an actual credit card token as opposed to the whole credit card number. And if you're PCI compliant, you're not storing that shit anywhere in your database. So that's your only opportunity is to skim it on like checkout.
Where am I at? Nathan, addicted to crypto. Coinbase. Oh, I guess this is Nathan as into Mr. Nathan that was on last week. The voice sounds groggy, like he just woke up. Hello? It's 1:30 p.m. while I'm calling from Denver, but 3:30 in Hong Kong at the crypto offices of Sam Beckman Fried and SBF. He's already at the desk. He's already at his desk. What? Okay. I don't think I want to actually read through all this. But it might be something of interest to Nathan if he ever looks at the show notes. Okay. Ransom XX Trojan variant is being deployed against Linux systems, warns Kaspersky. Inoculation is simple. Multi-factor authentication, regular timely patching. A Trojan targeting Linux and employed by a known ransomware gang has been discovered by Russian antivirus firm Kaspersky. We recently discovered a new file encrypting Trojan built as an ELF executable and intended to encrypt data on the machine controlled by Linux-based operating systems, says Kaspersky security researcher Fyodor Siniskin and Vladimir Kushkov, head of the Advanced Threat Research and Software Classification in blog post. Okay, I'm trying to look in the vector how it gets installed in. Feel free to say something.
I got nothing right there. It's kind of like, yeah.
Da, comrade.
No surprise. Well, no, Kaspersky's antivirus firm. They're the ones reporting it.
Okay. Critical privilege escalation bugs squashed in WordPress Ultimate Member plugin. Okay, stop this pop crap.
Oh, apparently, I'm sorry. I hate to interrupt like this, but I saw about a few minutes ago, some places are reporting YouTube's got video streaming issues. So,
right.
Yeah.
As far as I know, we're still going.
Yeah.
Okay. Critical privilege escalation vulnerabilities have been patched in the popular WordPress plugin Ultimate Member. According to over 100,000 active installations on counting for the over 100 active installations on websites that use WordPress content management systems, CMS, Ultimate Members allows webmasters to offer membership signups and member profile functionality. According to a report published on Monday by the WordFence security team, the plugin contains 3 vulnerabilities that could be used in privilege escalation attacks, allowing threat actors to escalate their account rights to administrator level and potentially hijack entire websites. Now, I know this was the case in the past. I'm assuming it's still the case. That most of the problems we find in WordPress isn't directly in WordPress, but usually the plugins.
But that's been that way forever.
Yeah, WordPress has actually beefed their security up a lot lately. Like, back in like the mid 2000s and early 2010s, like their security was fucking atrocious, but they've actually made some pretty big strides in that. It's usually the plugins that are fucked over now.
It's not hard either because a lot of people are just going out there and saying, "Find me a plugin" and installing it, and not even looking at it. I mean, earlier last week, I had a person who pissed me off, and just out of spite, and because I had nothing better to do with my other hand, I ran a WordPress scanner against it, and every single one of his plugins was at least 4 to 5 years old.
Well, a lot of people don't think to update the shit, and some places get a website, then they never maintain it. Then it just goes dead. Like those various restaurants that I go to in Southern Indiana, and they got themselves a website when they first set up. Then they never maintained it, and it's gone away. I don't know if they even paid for DNS. They just never did anything with the
Well,
website.
Sometimes
But
they hire somebody from like websites R Us, and then they pay them once and think it's good enough or something.
Yeah, or people start asking for more money and thinking, "Oh, I've already paid you, go away." And no, it's not a we're not asking you for more business. We're asking you for a renewal of your services.
Yeah, we're gonna keep you running. But then again, especially with restaurants right now, COVID shut down minimums and all that. They're scraping money anywhere they can. So,
and I mean, to make it even kind of worse, I mean, WordPress has actually gotten a lot better with updates over the years. I mean, it used to be you had to go through all these fucking ordeals to update it. You had to go and extract files, which for us is no big deal, but for the average user, it wasn't something they could just go readily do. And now it's actually pretty easy to update, especially they actually have tools to like update your plugins and shit off the bat. So it's like you have no excuse not to update your shit.
Either that or go somewhere where they do it for you.
Yeah, a lot of hosting management platforms, especially I've seen a lot in cPanel, will do you can do automatic installs and updates of them. So it's like it's easy to get going.
I have one Uno little space like that, and I use the GoDaddy stuff, and it's been rock solid for me. They're on their online store, their online shopping cart, and all that. It's been beautiful for like 2.5 years now. I don't even have to think about it other than time to add more stuff to the store.
Yeah, and a lot of them, like I said, they have it on the admin page. You can actually set to do auto install your updates, or like they will, you put your email address in here and we will email you when there's an update. So you have lots of opportunities to either patch your shit automatically or get notified to patch your shit.
Yeah.
And some hosts are starting to like patch your shit for you, like if it's out of date, because we don't want our server getting popped because you're a dumbass.
Yeah.
Okie doke. Hacker sells access to Pakistani Airlines network. Access to Pakistani International Airlines network is being offered for sale on the cyber underground, according to threat researchers in Israel. A team of darknet threat intelligence firm, darknet threat intelligence firm, KELA spotted a threat actor touting domain admin access to the airline for $4,000 on 2 Russian-speaking illegal online forums and 1 English-speaking forum that they had been monitoring. Okay, so someone's selling access. Okay.
Great.
Major ransomware strain jumps from Windows to Linux. Okay. At least a multi-platform.
Bound to happen.
Kaspersky researchers recently discovered a new file encrypting Trojan built as executable and linkable format ELF that encrypts data on machines controlled by Linux-based operating systems. This was significant because researchers considered this the first time major Windows ransomware strain, Ransom EXX, was reported to Linux. W3 Tech's reports and 28.8% of all web servers run Linux. Is that low?
I mean, public facing, yeah, because there's still a lot that either don't report or they're running Windows, or it's some scalar appliance that you don't know what's behind it.
Okay. Kaspersky recently discovered a file encrypting Trojan built as an executable and linkable ELF that encrypts data and machines controlled by Linux operating systems. Okay, that's just a repeat of what the image did. Okay.
That's kind of a scary thought, because that's basically what's kept a lot of the malware world isolated was Windows gets targeted, so that mostly affects end users and some servers, and then Linux gets affected, which mostly affects servers. Not so much end users because not many Linux end users, and Mac has the 5 users that use Mac will get affected. But if we can go cross-platform, like I know there have been cases in the past of things being like cross-platform, but if that starts becoming more common, that's pretty bad actually.
New GuideMob malware can spy on 153 Android mobile applications. Security researchers have discovered a new Android banking Trojan that can spy and steal data from 153 Android applications. Name GuideMob. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that at all correctly. GuideMob, maybe? The Trojan is believed to have been developed by the same group behind the Ashcroft Gilma Windows malware, according to a report published on Monday by security firm Kaspersky. Man, Kaspersky's in here a whole hell of a lot. Damn it, this is why I wish Frank would read the shit. Kaspersky says the new Android Trojan has been offered for download, packaged inside of malicious Android apps and sites and servers previously used by Ashcroft Gildrama operation. Distribution has never carried out via the official Play Store. Distribution was never carried out via the official Play Store. I don't know. I'm really leery about ever installing anything outside the Play Store. Even the Play Store stuff, I don't totally trust. Hey, Charles.
Yeah. Hey, how goes it? Yep.
Wow, that's a face we haven't seen on here for a very long time.
Yeah, it's been quiet. Yeah, I've been working insanely hard.
Oh, that sounds. I've been working really, really hard past the tequila.
AP, how goes it?
It's a day. It's a day. It's a day.
All right, man. How you been? Ow!
Crazy days, man. Crazy days. The job is whipping my ass, but I'm doing it.
That's it. And just say, thank you, may I have another?
Oh, yeah. Well, now, thank you, may I have a brand new Microsoft tablet. Thank you. Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
Look at that. Get your Surface on.
Oh, yeah. Just got it today.
Look at you.
And it is sweet.
Mm-hmm.
I got to put stickers on it, though. I just got to.
Yeah. Just got to let me know what stickers you're putting on there.
Well, hey, I'm making my own. You've seen the ones I make, those OSHA standard stickers. Yeah, well, we're starting there.
Okay. Is it possible I could get some stickers?
Well, of course you can. But you got to, lower yourself down to contact me and tell me what you want,
Lower myself?
Yes. Come down from that Mount Olympus there of geek knowledge and, come down to us noobs like me and say, hey.
Don't hey, sir. You, sir, are not a noob, okay?
Hey, I put the old in old school. I know.
Ha! Noob. How dare you?
Well, I got to tell you, sometimes it feels that way when I start having to deal with some of this weird stuff out there.
Hey, we're all weird in our own way.
Oh, no, I'm talking about, we've got these, fourth-party tools that intercept and do things with S3 buckets. And there's actually, I saw a program today that, manages S3 buckets for you so you don't screw them up.
Oh, look at that.
And I'm just like, ow.
Isn't that gorgeous?
It's making money. I'll tell you that much. Making money hand over fist.
Oh, yeah. And that's what people want, right?
Well, people don't want their S3 buckets flapping in the wind. That's what they want.
Yeah, like guppies on dry land. Or like the Frappy Bird.
It's like, whenever I really get bored or I think life is meaningless, I just scan S3 buckets and, it all feels good again.
Isn't that... It does.
Next time I feel depressed, I'm gonna try that because that sounds like I'm gonna go, holy shit, I don't have it that bad actually.
It's a little less easy than scanning for those those home tools, the home SaaS systems, because that you can do with you just get Shodan to do that for you. But the rewards in weird S3 buckets can be definitely interesting.
Give me S3 buckets. Hey.
All day long.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I've been rocking out. So I'm at Red Siege now. I'm not with Spider Labs anymore.
Ooh.
Yeah, so this is week 3. Loving it. I'm loving it. So yeah, super excited. Yeah, we got a lot of projects coming down the pipe. So that's always good. Got some new keycaps coming in because I'm a keycap fanatic.
Oh! I made a major score this week. By the way, I found a guy in all places, New Jersey. Okay, who does complete restoration and repair of Type M keyboards.
Interesting.
Like if your Type M is monkey fucked, he will bring it back to life.
A box full of partial Model M's. I keep one for my own use, one for I think downstairs, a computer, and I think the last full one I had I gave to Charles.
Yes.
A bunch of partials. I could get some more going if I just had the right keycaps. But the keycaps are missing, or like the escape key is missing on most of the ones I got left.
This guy has the parts. He'll sell them to you.
Wow.
And I had a Type M that actually had a short in it that blew out the left shift and like most of the left side, and it's like bang, done. Replace the entire membrane. I mean, basically, you can get a Type M completely reconditioned for about $100.
You can't beat that at all.
And if it's dead, then for an extra $15, you get a new membrane. And it's like Type M's are going for $300 to $400 right now on eBay and out there. Yeah, I have yet to see a Type M under $200 from a common source. Yeah, you go to a flea market. Yeah, you can pick them up for $5-10, or go to the MIT flea market, and 20-30 here and there. But online, minimum $200.
I used to work at a university. They were throwing them out in hazmat, and I would pick them up.
Yep.
Oh wow. Only thing I'm looking for now is the Commodore 64.
What, a whole one or an emulator?
A real one.
I could hook you up, but I always gave the one I had to someone else.
Yeah, if you guys
problem with that is too many people are figuring out the vintage game, and they're trying to say anything they've got. I've got a 1541 that's in the original case. It's vintage. I want $800 for it.
Yeah, this one was in its actual box it came in, but it was not. The box was a little torn up, but considering it got it in the 80s, that was in pretty good shape. I need to get new batteries for my vape here shortly. But let me get into this article real quick, and let you all discuss it while I change my batteries.
Okay.
Antivirus engines are flagging recent Dell printer drivers as unsafe. Recent releases of Dell printer drivers for various versions of Windows are being flagged by a number of antivirus programs as malware, as spotted and reported by journalist Brian Krebs on Twitter via Windows Central. A few examples of such reports can be viewed on Virus Total that provides logs for malware detection by various antivirus programs. Okay, I'm trying to read through here. Is it intentional? Is it a false flag? That's what I don't know.
It's probably a false positive, and it's not exactly the first time that's happened. I mean, shit gets false flagged by antivirus all the damn time.
Of course.
No, the thing is it because of the methodology they're using, or
probably they might use some kind of injection. It's probably like loading a driver via injection, because I've seen a lot of things get flagged that way because they just that the heuristics engine and the AV suite goes that's not good.
But the thing is that wrong? Because if they're using the same methodology as a hacker would to install a piece of software, hello, McFly, it should be. It's not a false positive. It should be going off.
I mean, it may be a justified alert because of the methodology used, but it's still a legitimate piece of software. That's like saying because it uses something that someone says is bad, that it's bad by itself, which is, no, you can't do that whole guilt by association.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can't blame. I mean, Dell, why don't you just find a better way to update your drivers rather than doing something shady?
Yeah. I mean, you hope they would, but again.
Yeah.
This is Dell. Okay, these are the people that ship me 3 dead machines back to back.
Yeah.
How you feel about Lenovo's?
It's nice if you got the money.
I mean, I've actually got some Dell laptops that are not bad. Their laptops are actually not too bad if you blow the crapware off of it, which is what I did.
Dell machines fall into two categories. Okay, they're either dead out of the box or they run forever.
Yeah.
And that's just. I mean, I've retired so many Dell servers into being like MAME machines or video streamers or something, and they're 8, 9, 10 years old and they're just chugging away.
Yeah.
The thing is, you got to get past that day one.
Yeah.
If it doesn't die out of the box, it'll live forever.
I have actually had more success with Dell physical hardware, server hardware, than I have with HP hardware. For some reason, I always hate dealing with the fucking ILO. It always causes problems. We see weird shit with the hardware. We're actually dealing with some of that hardware at work where the discs are wearing at an accelerated rate that goes like beyond what it should be going beyond. So they're going, oh, it's normal, and we're like, what the fuck? So, oh yeah, believe me.
I mean, Dell was getting to the point where, computer-wise, the Dell is what you're going to be handing down to your grandchildren.
Mm-hmm.
Like great-granddad gave me a Dell, and it was the Dell I used when I was your age, son. Pepperidge Farm remembers.
And that was the case back in the early 2000s when they were private, and then it kind of shifted when they got bought and went public. But now they're back to being private again, and that's kind of shifting back to where it used to be.
Right.
Funny that,
I bought a machine from Dell once that was dead out of the box, and the guy in India wouldn't let me return it within the warranty window, and it went. I just said fine, I won't pay for it, and then they tried to hit me up with, credit reporting, and I'm like, look, Optic the Destroyer wouldn't let me return it. I am to tell you, computer is okay.
You know what? I'm done. Oh man,
that hung around my neck for years, and then finally Dell admitted that they effed it up, and I just that was evil. It was a great little laptop too. It wasn't even a laptop; it was one of those like lightweight laptops, the ones that were like
the XPS.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The only problem with it was the I/O was shot on it. The Ethernet was shot on it.
Mm.
Other than that, it was fine, and they wouldn't replace it.
Well, that actually begs the question: what do they do at the very end? How do they make it right at the very end, other than saying, "Oh yeah, we screwed up"?
They took away they took my name off the bad boy list. They got me my credit. They contacted the credit companies and fixed everything.
That's all they did.
Yeah.
I mean, they should have done more than that because they kind of.
I know they should have.
They should have given you like some credit or something. Or...
Yeah, as far as we know so far, this seems to be a false flag kind of thing. Well, false flag is not the right terminology. A false positive, I should say. It is currently not clear what is triggering these detections, and if the said files are safe and installations or have been optimized. Krebs suggests that the users that are looking to download the latest drivers hold off downloading them for the time being. It's possible that the computer maker re-releases the driver with security or after security, or provides an update at the least about the report and the validity of its driver's offerings.
Right. So you're going to tell somebody not to update their printer drivers, and the users are running around screaming, "I just want to print. Why is it so hard?" Have you ever had that happen to you? Where a user has a complete, emotional meltdown because they can't print, and they're like, printing shouldn't be this hard, and now you're saying don't update your drivers, make it not work. And a lot of these printer driver updates are just ink monitoring updates to get past the newest ink cartridge hacks.
Yeah.
Like I had a huge HP update, and all of a sudden I started getting my monitors were lighting up with, oh, you're using a non-HP cartridge. You're using it. I'm like, yeah, no shit. Because HP ink is more expensive by the ounce than blood. And, screw you and the horse you rode in on. I'm going to go to a B-stock cartridge. They whine and cry and tell you how your print quality is going to suck. I'm like, yeah, but I can be able to afford my rent, though. Which you think, it's just been so sad lately with the ink wars and, fighting over B-stock cartridges.
That's pretty much why I moved to a laser printer, because toner tends to be a lot cheaper and tends to last a hell of a lot longer.
Always a good thing. You know what else is kind of cool too? Tektronix makes these printers that they don't even use toner or ink. They have these little crayon-like looking things, these little rods. It's like, imagine a crayon that's like 1 by 1 by 6, and you shove it into the appropriate slot, and it melts it and uses it. And it's cheaper than everything else I've seen. And you can get these at surplus shops or government auctions, stuff like that. It's a bizarre alternative.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I've had so many ink printers die on me. Like I've had problems with HP and Canon that I don't buy those anymore. I pretty much buy Brother printers anymore, and I buy the laser printers because they tend to be better. I mean, I originally bought an HP printer for my business, and then that died. That stopped. Basically, I ran out of ink on there 1 year, and I was like, "Fuck it," it's going to cost more than I went and bought. I don't need color, so I went and bought a black and white Brother laser printer for like $80, and it's still going strong despite more paperwork coming out of it now.
Brother printers have always been awesome, though.
Oh yeah, and I bought a big old color multifunction back in like 2016, 2015, before I moved, and yeah, it's still going strong. Still churning shit out. And I have an aftermarket source of toner for it too. Shit, I need to replace it. Haven't had to yet, but I'm sure will at some point.
Yep. The thing is, a lot of times that's how the companies really survive. They make it cheaper for you to buy a new printer, and that's where they make And if not, you're going to buy all the ink in the world. I've seen some large format printers that you buy the ink in like jugs and just stick a tube into it, which I used to have some really scary ink replacement kits that looked like a heroin kit. Really,
yeah,
I mean, like
I remember those.
A bunch of needles and stuff. I had a photo on my website for a while saying, I'm injecting nanites into my body, and it was like an ink cartridge thing with a needle on the end of it. And they're like, "Oh my God, where are you doing that for? Don't do that. Those things will kill you."
I remember back in like the early 2000s, back when my parents had one of the first like Canon like color inkjet printers, not bubble jet, inkjet printers, and they actually went and got a refill kit for it because it was cheaper, and it had the whole needle system that you had to inject in and all that stuff, and it was fun replacing the blue cartridge because it looked like I gave a Smurf a hand job at the end of it. My hands were covered with blue. So
everybody assumes that Smurf jizz is blue. Why is that?
Oh shit! It says YouTube is down. So
I said that earlier, Adrian.
I know. I saw it, but I didn't.
Man!
Because I see chats coming up, but I just went to check our feed on YouTube. So I wonder if the stream's going to get out there or not.
Yeah, I've heard it might or might not. We'll see. I've heard a lot of reports here on the outages mailing list.
Isn't it more important to determine what color Smurf jizz is than YouTube?
Let's continue with the next thing because I want to eventually get to sleep. A Microsoft engineer gets 9 years for stealing $10 million from Microsoft. The defendant tried and failed to use Bitcoin to cover his tracks. A former Microsoft software engineer from Ukraine has been sentenced to 9 years in prison for stealing more than $10 million in store credit from Microsoft's online store. From 2016 to 2018, Vladimir Krysko, I'm saying that way.
Vladimir Krysko, but
as a tester, placing mock online orders to make sure everything was working smoothly. The software automatically prevents shipment of physical products to testers like Kavashuv, but in a crucial oversight, it didn't block the purchase of virtual gift cards. Okay, so the 26-year-old Kavashkov discovered that he could use his test account to buy real store credit and didn't use the credit to buy real products. At first, K-Man, I'm going to call him K-Man, bought office subscription and a couple of graphics cards. When no one objected to those small purchases, he grew much bolder. In late 2017 and early 2018, he stole millions of dollars worth of Microsoft Store credit and resold it online for Bitcoin, which he then cashed out using Coinbase. All right.
So how did he get caught?
I'm not sure.
Probably got greedy. He got too greedy, and someone noticed it actually.
U.S. prosecutors say he netted at least $2.8 million, which he used to buy a 160 grand Tesla and a 1.6 million waterfront home. His proceeds were less than the value of the stolen credit cards because he had to sell at a steep discount. See, this is what people fuck up. They start buying expensive items and people.
That's how he got caught. You know, one day you're living in a dacha in the middle of nowhere, right? And the next minute you're driving around, you know, a brand new Tesla. You know, hello.
And people start noticing, or you start overextending it, and guess what? The IRS goes, "Why are you suddenly reporting more money back?" Or,
well, he's in the Ukraine, so there's no IRS over there.
Well, okay, IRS, but they have a tax service there. They're going to notice, why are you suddenly, reporting more money back? What's going on here?
They apparently started using other people's accounts as well of other testers, but it's the government's case. But the government complaint included quite a bit of evidence linking K-Man to the crime. He sometimes I'm not going to bother try to pronounce that.
I know. I was just like,
he sometimes used the same VPN connection and hence the same IP address to access different accounts, allowing investigators to draw connections between his known accounts and those he later using later thefts. Using fingerprinting techniques, he provided circumstantial evidence linking K-Man to the larger heist. The feds also argued that the timing of K-Man's sudden Bitcoin wealth was suspicious. There you go. The values of the Bitcoin deposits to K-Man's Coinbase account generally correlated with the value of the purchased and redeemed Microsoft credits, the government argued.
So leaky VPN, bad lifestyle choices, and circumstantial evidence, and they nailed him to the wall. Yep,
you probably should have waited to. Well, unfortunately, buying any big ticket items is going to cause some suspicion.
Well, that's the thing. Why would you buy stupid, huge, big ticket items? Who remembers the second Superman movie, the one with Richard Pryor?
Yes.
Yeah.
Remember when he rounded out the checks and sent the money to his.
That was
paycheck?
The third one, not the second one.
Third one. Okay.
Yeah.
and then the manager is standing there and says, "Well, how are we going to catch this guy?" And said, "Well, he's going to be impossible to catch unless he's a complete idiot." And as soon as he says "complete idiot," Richard Pryor pulls up like in a red convertible Lotus and parks diagonally somewhere and shit. And yeah, exactly. It's like, whatever happened to intelligent criminals?
Yeah, well, also
they're jail criminals. They're the ones who don't go to jail. Yeah, they're the ones you don't hear about.
Yeah, exactly. But they're the ones that don't, suddenly go from living in, a low rent shithole and all of a sudden, start driving their brand new Maserati into the parking lot next to everyone else's Toyota.
Well, some people are selectively intelligent. They might be very good at technology, but they don't think things through on other regards. Like, dumbass people might admit to something while in jail and they're calling someone else, and then they start admitting the crimes. I'm like,
I can tell you a story about that. That scared the hell out of me. Once upon a time, back in the early 90s, there was a friend of mine who was brilliant, fucking brilliant programmer, reverse engineer, just all around A student and everything like that. And I went to visit him because he said he wanted to buy a car. And he wanted me to help him buy a car. I get to his place, and he has got this beautiful 5-bedroom, 3-bathroom, mansion house, right? And he lived in the living room on an inflatable bed with a hot pot, like, a noodle-making hot pot next to it. And he hadn't even explored half the house. And he never thought to. He was like, this guy had spent his entire career and life doing college stuff, and then coming out of college, he just continued to live like he did out of college. So I drive him down to the car dealership. He sees some, $70,000, $80,000 wonderful car he loves so much. He whips it out in cash. And, and as soon as they see the cash, they know they got no more need for me. So they send me to go out and, wait in the lobby. And then he comes out and says, "I need your help with something." I'm like, "What's up?" And he says, "What's a driver's license? And how come I have to have one?" This guy was making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year and never had a driver's license, didn't know what one was, and was like living on an air mattress, eating ramen, and making like $300,000 a year. So yeah, there are people out there like that. I've seen them firsthand, but God.
And this was in the early 90s. He was making 300-something grand a year.
Yeah. This was like 89, 90. Yeah, I think if I remember right.
Okay, I don't know if this
You
is
know
just
what?
for inflation, but it's a whole lot now. So
Yeah,
You know
All right.
what? I need liquor.
tell me about it.
I haven't drank anything since the 5th of November.
After hearing that story, I had to.
Okay.
For a second.
Yeah, it's just weird how some people are just
Fall into it, man.
All right.
Thank God I didn't go to college.
New APT 32 malware campaign targets Cambodian government. Oh, great.
Oh, it's a holiday in Cambodia.
Recorded Futures Inskik Group discovered a new malware campaign targeting the Cambodian government using an association of Southeast Asian nations, ASEAN themed spear phishing. Okay, Cambodian government got spearfished. I don't think I really care that much.
Well, it's a government. I mean, even if it's not much of a government, it's still a government, and it got spearfished. I mean, that gives us hope, doesn't it?
Okay, this one expects a lot of this from Bleeping Computer. Microsoft fixes Windows 0 Day disclosed by Google last month. Microsoft has fixed today a Windows kernel 0 Day vulnerability exploited in the wild as part of targeted attacks and publicly disclosed by Project Zero, Google's 0 Day bug hunting team last month. According to Project Zero researchers, Metzuza and Sergey Glazunov, who discovered it, the security flaw currently tracks as a CVE 2020 17087 in a pool-based buffer overflow found in the Windows kernel cryptographic drivers, cng.sys. I'm looking to see what the vector is. I mean, we know it's flawed, but what you have to do to get on the system. Microsoft tagged the bug with a CVSS 3.0 severity rating of 7.8 out of 10, saying that it can be exploited by local attackers with low privileges for privilege escalation, including sandbox escape, in low complexity attacks not requiring user interaction. Okay. Good little local exploit, I guess. If you can get any account in the box, you can maybe escalate. That sounds nice. Okay. Okay. NVIDIA fixes. People go making fun of the way I pronounce this very shit. I'm used to reading shit to myself, not out loud.
I'm making fun of shit, man.
Yeah. NVIDIA fixes severe flaw in GeForce Now cloud gaming service. NVIDIA released a security update for the GeForce Now cloud gaming Windows app to address a vulnerability that could allow attackers to execute arbitrary code or escalate privileges on system running unpatched software. GeForce Now is a cloud-based gaming streaming service that allows users over 80 countries with paid subscriptions to stream free-to-play games that they own in real time from a library of hundreds of titles hosted on NVIDIA servers. Okay. Any comments?
Rock on.
Not surprising.
Okay.
I mean, I mean, it's literally like, I mean, it's NVIDIA. Do I need to say more?
New slipstream NAT bypass attacks to be blocked by browsers. Web browser software vendors are planning to block a new attack vector that would allow attackers to bypass a victim's NAT, firewall, or router to gain access to any TCP/UDP service.
Oh, I read about this.
The attack method, dubbed NAT slipstreaming, was discovered by security researcher Sami Kameka. Actually, I think I already know of that guy. Was that the guy that did the MySpace one way back when?
I think so.
And requires the victim.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, it does sound familiar. Requires the victim to visit the threat actor's malicious website, a site with maliciously crafted ads. To expose hosted services, the attack abuses certain NAT devices, scanning port 50. 5060 to create a forwarding rules, then detecting malicious crafted HTTP requests camouflaged as valid SIP requests, and those diagrams and so forth. So basically, you can open holes into someone's internal network passed on that. Is that correct?
Yeah, but pretty much you got to get them you got to sucker them into making the first step, though. It's nothing you can do just out of box.
Yeah, you have to get them to visit your malicious site.
Right, and once you do that, yeah, it's onward and onward.
All right. Google Chrome to block JavaScript redirect on a web page URL clicks.
Security-conscious users already have disabled JavaScript.
Yeah, that kills the functionality on some sites, though.
Yeah, and so you turn it on for the sites that you need it. I mean, yeah, you're going to leave it on for Amazon, but if you're going to, dinky-do.ru, you're not going to turn that shit on.
Not dinky do.
Google Chrome is getting a new feature that increases security when clicking on web page links that open URLs in a new window or tab. When inserting links into an HTML page, authors can include the target equals _ blank attribute that tells the browser to open the link in a new tab when clicked. However, this attribute has a known security issue that allows the newly opened page to utilize JavaScript to redirect the original page to a different URL. This redirected URL can be anything the threat actor wants, including phishing pages or pages that automatically download malicious files. For example, suppose that we link to another site in our article and use the target equals _ blank attribute. In that case, the new page can use JavaScript to redirect our article to a phishing page asking for bleeping computer credentials. Okay, when cross-site request forgery precautions keep that from happening?
It should. I mean, unless they got other issues, but that should prevent that from happening. All in all, overall.
Okay.
Oh man.
FBI hackers from the FBI, hackers stole government source code via SonarQube instances. The Federal Bureau of
Investigation. Yeah, that's about right.
The Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, issued a flash alert warning of hackers stealing data from U.S. government agencies and enterprise organizations via internet-exposed and insecure SonarQube instances. SonarQube is an open-source platform for automated code quality auditing and static analysis to discover bugs and security vulnerabilities in projects using 27 programming languages. Vulnerable SonarQube servers have been actively exploited by attackers since April 2020 to gain access to data source code repositories owned by government and corporate elites, later exfiltrating it and leaking it publicly. Okay, so where do you get someone's source code? Encrypting OpenSSH sessions for fun and profit. I'm going to take it that this one's going to be a little too in-depth technical to quickly cover in here. Yeah, I'm not going to go into all that detail.
What are you talking about? Using what to who?
Decrypting OpenSSH sessions for fun and profit.
Oh, fun. So what, Man in the Middle Part 12?
I honestly don't know. We have to actually go through all this to figure it out. Capcom hit with ransomware.
Man, I was mad at this. Sorry, go ahead.
It's okay. Japanese game developer Capcom has suffered a ransomware attack where the threat actor claimed to have stolen 1 terabyte of sensitive data from the corporate networks in the US, Japan, and Canada. Capcom is well known for its iconic game franchises, including Street Fighter, Resident Evil, Devil May Cry, Monster Hunter, and Mega Man.
Mm-hmm. That's why I was upset. So you can mess with anything in the world. You leave Mega Man out of this. Right. That's where I draw the line. You want to see how unhappy BSD Bandit? Mess with Mega Man. There, the secret sauce.
The company has confirmed that this was due to unauthorized access carried out by a third party, and that it has halted some operations of its internal networks as of November 2nd.
Huh.
So what did they get? A bunch of source code from games and shit?
Probably. Probably for old games, maybe.
I was just looking
Capcom's
for
not
a
making
game.
anything really new.
I was just looking for a game. Yeah.
War games.
Do you want to play a game?
Yeah, I just want to play those games. They're not tricks. Good, Dad, tell them all our secrets. Go ahead, tell them.
Mr. Potato Head. Mr. Potato Head.
Zoom lied to users about end-to-end encryption for years, FTC says. Democrats blast FTC/Zoom settlement because users won't get compensation. Zoom has agreed to upgrade its security practices in a tentative settlement with the Federal Trade Commission, which has led Zoom lied to users for years by claiming it offered end-to-end encryption. Since at least 2016, Zoom misled users by touting that it offered end-to-end 256-bit encryption to secure users' communications, when in fact it provided a lower level of security. The FTC said today in an announcement of its complaint against Zoom and the tentative settlement. So apparently they've been overhyping what the security levels are.
So what, were they just using an outdated algorithm or something?
Well, it's not quite sure.
I mean, I remember people were pissing their pants about Zoom being insecure, and they weren't setting passwords for their meetings and stuff like that, which was completely laughable. And then there were other people who were like, "Oh yeah, our Zoom got hacked," and like, no, you put the password to your meeting on a bulletin board next to the refrigerator. Or, you put it out in an email that somebody got a hold of, and they spammed it to the world. And people were, bagging on Zoom about that. So I'm kind of interested if they actually got legitimately smacked, what they got smacked for.
And by the way, folks, again, if you ever actually want to dive into these articles we just allude to, go ahead and check out the show notes that should be in the description below the YouTube video, assuming the YouTube video actually gets it out to us and having problems.
Yeah.
If YouTube's having trouble, who else is? Dum, dum, dum.
Okay, I'm going to skim through some of these other ones. Newly passed right to repair law will fundamentally change Tesla repair from Vice. And I don't want to give Vice a click. So there was some kind of like end-user license agreement where you can't tinker with your Tesla or something?
Oh yeah, there's all kinds of things. They don't want you. They don't want you dicking around with the software or the hardware or doing anything you normally would do with a car.
So I can't reprogram it if it has some kind of AI to say it's better to sacrifice my life than a pedestrian's that should go for the pedestrian instead.
That's going to be argued with all the Heinlein fans for years to come.
Heinlein or Asimov?
Both.
Oh.
Yeah, okay. Asimov gave us the rules of robotics and all that, but he wasn't the only one to touch on the subject. Just because Will Smith starred in his movie doesn't mean he has any more legitimacy than anyone else in the 1950s was talking about this shit.
I haven't read any Asimov, but I've read a fair amount or listened to the audiobook version of a lot of Heinlein stuff.
Yeah.
I like one of his statements. He said something about when he was asked about Ayn Rand. He said, compared to me, Ayn Rand is a damn communist, or something to that extent.
Well, yeah. Ayn Rand wasn't about science fiction, though. I mean, that was just...
Well, Atlas Shrugged, if you actually read the book, it is a lot of science fiction shit in there.
That's just all political wanking.
There's stuff about flying cars and new miracle metals and shit.
Yeah,
like that.
but that was just a side. That was just if we allow communism to take over, we can have all flying cars and stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, it was Mein Kampf for people who didn't like Germans.
I don't know if I'd say that, but
the whole thing was about who is John Jackoff and about
John
people,
Galt.
yeah, and people owning their shit and all that. It was there was a science fiction element to it, but it was like we're going to get to the science fiction future by doing this stupid political thing, and no genius there. Really, no genius there.
I don't know. I thought the storyline was pretty good, but she's very heavy-handed with her writing, and all the characters are meant to just espouse her political views. Which
exactly.
Heinlein was like that too, but I personally think Heinlein was a better writer.
Oh, definitely was a better. My sister was a better writer than she was. I mean, good God, my cat writes better poetry.
Wait, who are you talking about again?
Ayn Rand.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's what I thought you were talking about. 'Cause I was like, wait, I heard Highland in there too, and I'm like, wait, you can't be digging on Highland.
Yeah, I like
No,
Highland a lot.
no. Highland's the shit.
Okay, good. Okay, I'm glad we're on the same page. All
Oh,
right.
No,
he got a
I'm
little
talking
weird.
about Ayn Rand.
Yeah,
You know?
Ayn Rand is fucking hot garbage. Okay.
Though Heinlein got a little weird as things went by. I can get a hold of the whole. What is it?
But weird is okay.
Solipsistic pantheonism. Like, what was it? Solipsistic. Basically, by thinking of a world you created, that I could get in because they started having people like visit. What was it? Wizard of Oz and other shit. Because every universe that was existed in fiction existed. I think it was solipsistic pantheonism. I can't remember the terminology, but what we got weird was we started getting into consensual incest. That was a little strange.
Well, most incest is consensual. It's just illegal.
Oh my God!
I don't think most of it. No, dude, no. Most of it's not consensual.
Have you ever been to the South?
I live in the South, motherfucker. Watch what you fucking say.
Jesus, Paul's right. You are better than Ma. I mean, it's a lot of it's you know, it's a lot of it is consensual.
Not to take it to a dark place, but I pretty much guarantee you most incest involves child molestation. So that's not.
No, I've been around the block a few times. I've seen the 18 to 21s looking at their cousins the wrong way.
Okay, let's move on.
The incest is illegal, but I mean,
this is going to get flipped. All right. Meet the cheating Van Moof e-bikes will be slowed outside the U.S. The Verge. What the hell is this about? By the way, I know people who hate these like e-bikes, and they especially hate these scooter things.
Oh yeah, but they're fun to steal.
Bloomington, Indiana has a bunch of those scooter things.
You know what's funny right now in Vegas is people are renting the handicap scooters and running wild in them.
Huh.
They're not even bothering with these. They're going straight to the hotels, and they're cleaning them. They're cleaning them out of the scooters. They had what they call scooter gangs running through Vegas. And when I say gangs, like literally one guy like stopped his scooter, got off of it, and stabbed somebody, and then drove away.
Owners will no longer be able to pretend they're in the U.S. VanMoof is the latest e-bike maker that will remove software that allows its e-bikes to offer pedal-assisted power beyond the EU limit of 25 kilometers per hour. The option cheats European speed limits will be removed on November 17th with an update to the VanMoof app that will be applied globally. Wait, so there's a speed limiter? I don't understand. Does anybody follow this?
There's a speed limit on how fast it'll help you go because they don't want pedal bikes going 50 miles an hour. They're not designed for it, unless it's a serious mountain bike or something. You don't want your average person running a bike to go down to the grocery store doing 45, 50 down the street.
So basically, you can use between the power of the motor itself and your own pedaling. You can get.
It's like a governor. It lets you go just so fast.
Over the past month, we've had a number of cases in Germany of our riders being stopped by police for simply having the ability to exceed 25 kilometers per hour limit EU default settings by switching to the U.S. country settings on our app. Oh, so okay.
Yeah, they're getting around the governor with a hack.
All right. Yeah, I'd be
a lot of people do that here in the U.S. They chip their cars to turn off some of the environmental controls. Or to turn off governors.
They'll do deletes, like especially on diesel cars. They'll do deletes to like remove like the EGR, which are stupid designs.
Or do your own acceleration curves and stuff like that. There's a whole aftermarket for shit like that in cars.
Yeah,
here.
I mean, there's basic plug and play kits where it'll give you like an extra 5-10 HP without anything at all because they just change like the fuel and air mix just like by tiny amounts.
The thing is, it can cause you to fail your smog. So some people have A/B switch systems.
Yeah, usually most of those really simple ones don't do that, but yeah, like some of the really high end stuff will. So either you'll have a reflash or you'll switch it back before you go in for emissions testing.
Fuck the DMV.
All right, meet the first and only Air Force pilot to shoot down a satellite. On September 13th, 1985, Major General William Doug Peterson Jr. made history by becoming the first and only pilot to shoot down a satellite. He did it by flying F-15A straight up and letting loose a purpose-built missile that rammed the satellite in orbit. Okay.
You know, if you're going straight up in that airplane, you're going to let loose something else too. That's a no fun flight right there.
The pilot had prepared many months for what he was about to do: fire a heat-seeking missile towards a satellite the size of a 1969 Volkswagen as it hurtled through orbit at 5 miles a second. Basically, he was about to hit a bullet with another bullet, which would require absolutely perfect timing, but the pilot was ready for it. After we left the tanker, I started getting very confident that we were going to make our timing, said Major General William Doug Peterson Jr., who was then a major. Everything was looking this perfect, and we flew out to the launch point. Okay. The G-forces piled on Pearson, climbing 7 miles over the Pacific Ocean at nearly Mach 1. He was about 200 miles off the coast of Southern California, but his target, an aging weather satellite, was still over Hawaii, more than 2,000 miles west. That was just fine, for Pearson's aircraft carried a ASM-135, a missile purpose-built to hit the faraway mark. At 38,100 feet, Pearson launched the missile, then blew through 2 rocket stages, which blew for 2 rockets as it left the atmosphere. It then released a miniature homing vehicle that locked onto the satellite's infrared image and rammed it at 15,000 miles per hour, 345 miles above the Earth. Okay. Nice shot, man, I guess. Actually, with some of the aerotech we had back in the day, I got to wonder what they have now that they're just not telling us about.
Or they got a satellite that'll do that from orbit. Yeah, I bet you that. I bet you they got a satellite up there that's a satellite killer.
New York public school systems is barely even pretending to teach. I can buy that.
Yep.
Or as Aaron Clary, a guy I follow online, says, teachers. I can't say it the way he does. He has a certain disdain for teachers. New York City's public school system is barely even pretending to teach. Nearly 2 months into the school year, city teachers are no longer pretending kids will learn much this year, with some even doing other things besides teaching during online classes. As the Post's Susan Elderman reports, one student at Edward R. Murr High School in Brooklyn says his teachers, Nashia Archer, gave her algebra lessons from a car. How much of a lesson could it be? He wondered. A month ago, another taught from a hammock while interacting with the kids at the same time.
Well, considering what they teach, what they pay teachers, the teacher was probably living in that car they were teaching from.
Maybe so. I don't know. I don't have any kids. Does anybody else have any? And I think Charles's is too young.
I got a sock full of them.
Shit.
You know what? Yeah, mine's too young. My daughter's not in school yet.
So I don't know if any of us I have firsthand experience with what kids are being taught and how they're being taught right now.
It looks scary.
It is. I mean, really, it's making trade schools look better and better by the day.
Ring recalls 350,000 smart doorbells after some of them caught fire.
Ding dong, who is it? Fire department.
The potential fire hazard impacts 350,000 second-generation Ring doorbells sold in the United States and roughly 8,700 more sold in Canada, according to a notice posted by the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission on Tuesday. The $100 doorbells were sold on Ring's website and on Amazon between June 2020 October 2020, according to the CPSC. The video doorbell's battery can overheat when the incorrect screws are used for installation, according to the posing a fire and burn hazard. The notice said. According to the notice, Ring has thus received 23 reports of doorbells catching fire and causing property damage, as well as 8 reports of minor burns. All right.
Don't buy cheap Chinese shit, kids.
Oh, come on. Wish.com has the best.
Raspberry Pi to Internet of Things glove. He's got a power glove. What's that line from The Wizard or something about power gloves?
Yeah, have you seen the new Pi that's out there that's like inside of a keyboard? It literally looks like the old school Cyberdeck now.
Yeah, I've seen it. It looks like the actual original, the Raspberry Pi keyboard. It's just that they put the Raspberry Pi inside the Raspberry Pi keyboard. Looks pretty cool, though. I think that was the answer for, like, what was it, Pi-hole or something?
I don't know. I run
or
Pi-hole
it was another.
I run Pi-hole off of a Pi 4.
Not Pi-hole. It was the answer for. I was looking at the smaller technology because there's competition for different boards out there, and I think that was their quick answer. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but I think that was just a quick answer for that. I'm personally not going to get one. I already have a 4, and it's just like you really have to like use. If you're really gonna use it. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I got a bunch of Raspberry Pis of different generations, and most haven't been used much.
Right. Same here.
Damn, I just want the one that has the all-in-one with the keyboard there, just to carry around with you. Not that I go anywhere, but I'll tell you what, that'll fit on my wheelchair a hell of a lot better than anything else will. And have a keyboard on it, so I don't have to dick around with wiring things up and touchscreens and Bluetooth and crap like that.
Yeah, I was saying someone hooked up a power glove to a Raspberry Pi or made a Raspberry Pi based power glove. That's enough of that. Final nail in the coffin. Bar raising AMD Resin 5950X somehow lags behind 4 Intel parts, including the Core i9 10900K in average bench on user benchmark, despite higher 1-core and 4-core scores. I don't want to read that. Pfizer CEO Albert Bourla sold stock the day he announced promising vaccine news. Why would you sell it then? Wouldn't you sell it afterwards?
One would think.
Afterwards.
Or you could sell it to somebody and say, hey, this is going to triple in 48 hours.
Okay, maybe you set up to sell it because the price was going to rise immediately afterwards. The transaction was going to take place until afterwards. So maybe it's a timing issue.
Yeah. It always is when it comes to shit like that.
And I honestly don't know all the different insider trading laws.
They are pretty deep and they are pretty far-reaching. I will give you that for free. I had a job in a previous life where I busted people for sending out information in emails that couldn't be done literally till after the closing bell on a certain day.
All right, this one's kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
Britney Spears. This goes into the other weird stuff. Britney Spears loses court bid to remove father's control over her estate. Isn't she like in her 30s?
Isn't she like irrelevant?
Well, that too. But I mean, Jamie Spears has been his daughter's legal guardian for 12 years due to concerns about her mental health. Miss Spears' lawyer said the pop star was afraid of him and that she would not perform so long as he remained in that role. The father's lawyer argued that he's always acted in the best interest of his daughter. A judge said he would consider future appeals for the dismissal or removal. In the meantime, the request for Mrs. Steele's financial company, Bessemer Trust, has been appointed as co-conservator.
Huh. Interesting.
Even if she is, and she definitely had this batshit crazy thing going on about 15 years ago. So I can understand why somebody would be put in charge of some of her interests. But at a certain point, once you get to a certain age, let crazy be crazy, and it's not your responsibility anymore.
I agree.
Okay. Portland City Commissioner Joanne Hardesty calls 911, refuses to get out of lift car after driver cancels ride. And I think this is one of those ladies who was continually going, defund the police, defund the police. And I'm looking for the article, but shit, here's a problem. They're not actually showing a picture of this lady. I know this. I don't know. This is gonna sound shallow, but if you ever seen this lady, you've seen what the later seasons of The Walking Dead, what the zombies look like.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh man.
All right, that one's a good picture of her actually. Here is a. Okay, that's even a good picture of her. There's one out there where she looks dead up like one of the zombies from a.
I need to get out.
Let's listen to this.
911, what's your emergency?
Well, I got a Lyft driver that decided he would just drop me off at a filling station and he wants me to get out. And I'm not getting out of the car in the dark at a filling station. Not happening. All because I asked him to put the window up. But I'm not leaving. He says I have to get out of his car. Or he's calling the police, so I decided to call for help.
Okay. I mean, technically it's his property and you have a civil agreement. There's no crimes involved.
Well, he said he was calling the cops. I told him he's not going to leave me on
It's not a crime to call the cops.
Well,
I mean, I could have the officer. What was that?
I said, I am not going to allow him to leave me on the side of the road. I paid for a ride.
That's the zombie one.
And
Okay.
he canceled it. He says he canceled it. So I'm just going to sit here until he sends me another ride. So,
Do you understand that only you can order another ride?
well, I didn't cancel the ride. He canceled the ride.
And which is his obligation as a human being on the face of the earth to cancel a contract like that. It's not a crime.
Well,
That's
and it's not-
Part of your user license agreement when you accept taking rides with strangers. So I can have an option, but they're not going to be able to make him stay there.
well, I mean, he can't go anywhere because I'm not moving until another car comes. So,
All right, well, if officers come out,
all right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, tell me exactly what happened.
Well, I've got a customer that I canceled the ride. I'm a rideshare driver, and I canceled the ride, and I'm taking her off the freeway to this filling station so that she can order another ride. I canceled the ride, so she's no longer, involved or engaged with me. She's refusing to get out of my car.
Okay.
So I just need somebody to tell her she can't. She's happy to get another ride. She can perfectly do that.
Yeah.
Get another driver, but she's refusing to do that.
And she's in your car now. Are you in there with her?
Yeah. I'm just sitting in my front seat. She's in the back seat. I can step out of the vehicle if you'd like me to do that.
Oh, no, that's okay. And she's already called us, is that right?
Yeah, she called.
Okay. Yeah, we do have a call entered, and Richfield police officer is dispatched to the call as of right now. Unless they get diverted for another emergency or whatnot, they should be coming to you. Does she have any weapons or anything like that on her?
I doubt it.
Okay. All right, and she hasn't been violent or anything like that, right?
No, she's just refusing to get out of the car.
Okay. Looks like they are driving there to you now. If anything changes before they get there, I want you to give us a call back, okay?
Okay, thank you very much, officer.
Yep. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Oh man.
It's just like that
hell?
one famous video of like where it's the Lyft or Uber freak out because the woman's like refusing to get out of the car, and it's all been edited to the point where it looks like she's just trying to ask like where do we need to go, and he's just losing his shit, even though like for a while there she's been taunting him kind of shit.
I remember seeing one driver, the Uber or Lyft, where the woman got all pissed off at him and started making allegations she was going to accuse him of rape or something.
That's common stuff.
Yeah,
Just
and
don't
that's
go
actually
out to the SJWs. They'll tell you it never happens.
that's why a lot of them have cameras in their dash that are watching the back seat, so that way if someone does something, like they have proof. There's a common scam I've seen where like someone will cancel the ride, and that way they're expecting a free ride that way. And so a lot of like Uber and Lyft drivers are getting savvy to that, and they'll pull over on the side of the road and say, "Get the fuck out," because you're trying to scam me. Get the fuck out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then some Lyft drivers like shit, or Uber drivers like I noticed incident. There's one particular person who got all pissed off because the Uber driver wouldn't stop at a random place along the street in Las Vegas, and like they enforced that shit in Las Vegas. There's certain places where you're allowed to drop people off and pick them up. You can't just randomly stop by the street in various places to drop off passengers, or you'll get
in cabs. Yeah.
Well, I'm not saying that the same applies to Ubers and Lyfts.
I didn't know they started enforcing that.
I don't know if they're enforcing or not. That's what I've been told.
Yeah, no, that's true for cab drivers.
But if I was this lady, I would just say, okay. Well, first, I probably wouldn't complain about the window being down. I'd just get the fuck out and things canceled. Call me another Uber.
Yeah,
but
why go through all this?
Portland seems like a fucked up place.
It is. Make no mistake about it. It's a fucked up place. I've been there, and I rolled up my windows and kept driving.
So does anybody
the whole area of the country is just fucking weird.
Yeah, apparently Ted Wheeler won the mayorship again, and of the two choices they had who were likely to win, as bad as Ted Wheeler seems to be from what I've heard from other people, it was still probably the better choice. Let's see if we have any chats, and I'll go ahead and stop my screen sharing. Anybody else have anything to say for the night?
Not here.
Well, folks, in that case, we'll go off air and we'll hang out for a little bit off the stream. But everybody, see y'all next Wednesday, and you have a good evening.
Later.